Let's talk about The Deadly Spawn, this wild, low-budget sci-fi horror flick from 1983. It was written and directed by Douglas McKeown and produced by Ted A. Bohus. Here's the basic story. A meteor crashes into the New Jersey woods and brings a bunch of creepy, worm-looking aliens with really bad attitudes. These critters wind up infesting a regular suburban family's basement. Cue a young horror fan named Charles, played by Charles George Hildebrandt, and his crew of teens who have to step up, deal with these monsters, and try to save the neighborhood. So how do they do it? These things are nasty, but it turns out they don't like the cold. Charles figures this out with his friends and they set a trap, luring the monsters into a walk-in freezer and icing them for good. Just when you think everything's cool though, the movie leaves you with a creepy twist suggesting maybe something worse is still lurking around. Classic cliffhanger? Alright, let's talk about how they made this thing. The budget? Basically pocket change. Somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000, which in movie terms is pretty much nothing. They shot on 16mm film all around New Jersey, places like Gladstone and New Brunswick, plus in the house of Tim Hildebrandt, who was not just executive producer, but also a legit illustrator. Now, the real stars of the show are the special effects. John Dodds put all the creatures together by hand, with rubber, wires, and a lot of creativity. Fun fact, the giant mother spawn was so big, it couldn't even fit through the doors on set. They had to take one of its big heads off and reattach it inside. So you get little tadpole-like monsters, and then this huge, multi-headed alien beast that's honestly both hilarious and terrifying. When it came out, Deadly Spawn actually did all right. At one point, it was the farthest alone at the US box office for the week. Critics had mixed feelings, but a lot of folks, especially monster movie nerds, loved the practical effects and how real the characters felt. Allmovie had lots of good things to say, and even the harsher reviews admitted the monster effects were impressive for such a tiny budget. Rotten Tomatoes has it around 50%, but among horror fans, it's definitely got cult status. People call it the perfect low-budget horror movie and love that it totally goes for it, even with no money to spend. One reviewer even joked, "It didn't lose my appetite. I made myself a nice juicy burger after watching it." The movie's gotten some love over the years with special DVD and Blu-ray releases from Synapse Films. The swankiest version is a 4K Ultra HD edition, just 5,000 copies made, boasting tons of extras, behind-the-scenes stuff, audio commentaries, featurettes, and some awesome collectible goodies. And here's some fun trivia. In a few countries, they renamed it Return of the Aliens, The Deadly Spawn, to make it sound like an Alien sequel, which it totally isn't. There's even a kind of sequel called Metamorphosis, the Alien Factor that came out in 1990. Oh, and get this, a severed head prop from the film actually ended up with Gene Simmons from Kiss, thanks to crew member Tim Sullivan. Rock on! So, bottom line, The Deadly Spawn is a perfect example of what you can do with a tiny budget, a bunch of rubber monsters, and a whole lot of imagination. Fans love it, and if you like old-school monster movies, you really need to check it out. Seen it already? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and make sure to subscribe to Movies of the 80s.